If you go to the site at Itowolo, there is no equipment. The contractor is nowhere to be found. And we now ask a question: what is happening to Ogun River Basin Development Authority? Today is 25th of September, 2025. Till date, the dredging of the Ogun River, you will not find any tangible dredging along the 10-kilometer stretch of River Ogun. Why come and call the communities to a fanfare flag off last year when you know you will dash their hopes midway? We were all optimistic. We went round the communities and said President Tinubu had come to our aid, that the Ogun River Basin Authority, they've come to flag off the dredging of the 10-kilometer stretch of Ogun River. Everybody in this community, their hopes were raised up. It was like a renewed hope. But I can tell you today, September 25, 2025, over a year since the flag off of that project, no tangible dredging. You will not observe any tangible dredging, mark my words, along the 10-kilometer stretch of that project. If you go to the site at Itowolo, there is no equipment. The contractor is nowhere to be found. And we now ask a question: what is happening to Ogun River Basin Development Authority? We have several engagements with them in the past. And it was part of this engagement, the director himself, the CEO, Engineer Isheri, promised us that the government, that President Tinubu had given him the go-ahead, had given his organization the go-ahead to dredge River Ogun. He was the one who told us to call all our communities together at Itowolo. We were there, the communities were there, all the royal fathers were there to grace the occasion that the government has finally come to our rescue. We propagated the messages around all our communities. But what is happening? A year later, 12 calendar months. Initially, when we were writing the contractor to come for a joint meeting before he commences, so that we even have an idea of the impact of the project on the community, the contractor was nowhere to be found. You call him, he doesn't pick his phone. We call Ogun River Basin, we write them several correspondences, nothing. Then we now said, let us leave the government to work. Maybe they have their plans. We had a town hall session at Isheri. He assured us that something will be done. But this is 12 calendar months. The people of these communities, from Arepo down to Banku, Arigbede, Isheri, the Riverview communities, down to Ikorodu, you know what they go through in Ikorodu. It's like, where is hope? That is why we are now calling on President Tinubu, because we know he's an action president. While he was in Lagos, we know what he did. And right now, we can see some of his transformation in the economy. We are calling on him to please call the Ogun River Basin Development Authority to go back to site and do work, tangible work that he promised the people. Tangible work that the people were expectant of when they were called. We were all in our homes when you called us for the flag off ceremony, and we were there 12 months ago, September 13th, 2024, at Itowolo. And up till today, if you go to Itowolo, the middle of River Ogun is already filled with debris from last year's flood when Ogun released excessive volumes of water. The whole place under the bridge, right from the bridge upstream, is dense, is filled with compacted debris, post-flood sediments, and water hyacinth. You will only see some bit of skeletal work with people who use shovels to excavate. No dredging equipment touched that place. All our community representatives who go to the site at least 2 times weekly kept reporting no work, no work. The only work they did was just some individuals with shovels. When you clear water hyacinth, that's not dredging. Dredging is actually to clear the sediments from under the water and increase its capacity. That is, in layman's term, when you pump out the sand from under the water, the sand deposit from the base of the river, it will increase the capacity of the river to be able to take more water to flow and ease flow downstream. But when it is clogged, when they release water from the dam and it gets to that bottleneck, we have a bottleneck at Isheri Kara, just behind the Oba's palace. It's like an outcrop. Now we have several, especially on the undulating or convoluting sections of the river. But when you get to Itowolo, it is right in the middle of River Ogun. That alone, this October, we are not prophesying doom, but with that debris there, if the government does not intervene now to clear that debris, I can tell you the severity of this year's flood, when excessive volumes of water is released in line with the prediction, will be more than what happened last year. Last year, the first phase of Opa Around desilting that Governor Dapo, His Excellency Governor Dapo Abiodun, did for the communities was what eased out the flow. That the flood that usually take about 8 to 10 weeks, we just had it for about 6 weeks. It reduced the time, or the holding time of the water in the community because there was that drainage. Now, the flood of last year had silted all the waterways Governor Abiodun dredged. So right now, as we speak, the efficiency of all the waterways he dredged last year up till Itowolo Basin is clogged, not only with silt, badly silted, you now have thick vegetation. The commissioner, you remember the commissioner promised us in March that Governor Dapo Abiodun, His Excellency, is commissioning the desilting by May. But I don't know what challenges the government is having, but up till now, we are still expecting Governor Dapo Abiodun to come and help us continue with the second phase to link Majidun, where we now have 2 legs, in addition to the leg of the Lagos State at Isheri that discharges downstream Ogun River. With those 3 legs, whenever there is overflow, there will be a place, there will be a channel for water to be discharged into the lagoon. But with only 2 legs, the one Lagos had done years back and the one Governor Dapo Abiodun did last year, that is now badly silted, it's like water is stuck, hinterland. There is no access for discharge. So what the people should be expecting this year, instead of water to get maybe to their belly button, water might be getting to their chest if they are even able to breathe. Maybe some of the people that are as tall as I am, their head might be able to come out of water. So that is why we wouldn't want to wait for a sorry situation. It can still be salvaged. The immediate thing we need now is for Osun to go and desilt that clog. Or we even call on the Lagos State government, because we've written the Commissioner of Environment Lagos State, Tokunbo. He's an action man. He replied to us and told us that he's going to look into it, but he did not give any promise. He also told us he's going to engage the Ogun River Basin Development Authority to know what exactly is their challenge. I know Lagos has the expertise, because if in Lagos the Atlantic Ocean could be tamed to have an estate, one of the most expensive estates in Lagos, the Eco Atlantic, right in the middle of Atlantic Ocean, clearing desilting the waterways, it's no big deal. Lagos has done that several times. If it is in terms of expertise, let the Commissioner of Environment, Lagos State, Tokunbo, help us. We need help now from any angle. We are not focusing on only Ogun, because for 12 months, we've not seen Ogun River Basin Development Authority helping us. They only flagged us, called us to a party, and after the party, there was nothing. That is why we are now calling, whether it is Ogun returning to site, or Lagos State government intervening, or Ogun State government intervening, anybody who can intervene, we want to go there and clear that waterway, such that when the dam is released, excessive volumes of water is released from the dam by October, there will be seamless flow downstream into the Lagos Lagoon via Itowolo. That is one part. Then we also appeal to the federal government. I've seen communication last 2 weeks when the Ogun State government, as part of their warning, the Commissioner of Environment, who has been a fantastic gentleman, because you remember whenever we call on him, he answers, he comes for meetings, he gives us assurance. In fact, he's nearly tired of our trouble, because whenever we call, he answers. He makes us have a face with the government. He cried out that at this juncture, people in the floodplains should evacuate, look for where to stay. After the floods in October, they can return, because the government is a bit, I would say, stretched when it comes to managing such crises. So he gave that. But we are saying, where will the people move to? You can see the millions in this. It is not a matter of me. Let us remove the me out of it, because where I stay, flood can never cover the place. But when you have your own house where flood will not cover you, and you look to your left, you see your neighbors under a pool of water, their livelihoods eroded, their properties wiped out, and you are hearing of deaths from the communities, will you be a happy man? It does not. You look at it, it's not a matter of the me. We're all humans. If your neighbor will not be happy, how long will your own happiness stretch? At this juncture, that is why we are crying out. Let the federal government help us. The Ogun River channel, the vulnerable sections, let them put embankments. Once you have embankments like dikes along the banks of the river channel, it will be able to contain the water within the channel and discharge safely. There will be no flood in the whole of this community. It is not a matter of telling people to move out every year, and by the time they come back, all their properties, their livelihoods, everything destroyed, and they start all over. How long will the people continue to start all over? That is why you can see, initially this estate, these people were vibrant when they started this journey. But you can see, it's like they've resigned to fate. There are cars in here, but as you can see, nobody can pass here into the estate. They now go through other access routes, via other assets, other estates, begging for right of way, for access. That is not what we expect. So we need help. We really, really need help. Not just for these people alone, for the entire communities. Right from Arepo to Banku, to Arigbede, to Isheri River View, to the various estates inside Isheri, including the sparklight on the other side, including all down to Ikorodu. We have lots of communities at Itowolo, at Mayegun. They are all impacted. If you put embankments along the River Ogun, the vulnerable sections, it will contain the water within the channel. There will be no problem of water coming to all these places. People will live their lives. They don't have anywhere to evacuate to. It's more or less like telling them, prepare for the worst in the next few weeks. And after that, you live your life again. That is one. Then two, if we can get the Ogun River Basin to be releasing, you know, before they used to give us this flood outlook. It helps us. They tell us the water level in the dam. They tell us the discharge daily. They send it to us. But since Dr. Ashiru got there, we've not been getting this. I don't know whether the channel, the gentleman that usually sent, has moved to a new role, but we've not been getting any flood outlook. We've not been getting any daily discharge from the dam. These are things we use, we look at, because we also have experts within the communities. We look at it and we advise our people. The Monya Dam is at 59 meters. At 62, they don't have any other option but to open the floodgates and discharge downstream because of the integrity of the dam. So guys, let us begin to prepare. You get my point. But when you don't have any daily outlook or any flood outlook from the dam, from Ogun River Basin, you just sleep and wake up and look out of your window, you see water getting to your belly buttons. How will you manage? There's no form of preparedness. There's no emergency preparedness. So we ask for them to release this information to us. It's part of what we are appealing. That was why we published an open letter to the President and Governor Dapo Abiodun. We also asked the governor to come and help us raise the road levels, especially if we can raise the earth road along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. That will form an embankment. For water crossing from the other side of the bridge, it forms an embankment, and like a dam, the water will now be drained through the culvert into the channel he cleared. So with that, we won't feel the impact, not the one that the water will be specially distributed and just cover the whole communities. You know, it will be channeled and discharged safely at Ikorodu. So this is why we call on the government to come and heed. When you raise the road, the earth road, and some of the critical access road we listed, the commissioner, Engineer Kinsoya, he has already prepared the plan. His men are ready, but without resources, he can't do anything. So we are calling on Governor Dapo Abiodun. We know you are carrying out all kinds of developments in different parts of the state. It's commendable, but we are also calling you. Please, you promised us 2023 October, and this is September 2025. Please come to our own community. Come and start the road projects. We know you are a man of your words, and that is why we are calling, just to remind you. We know you've not forgotten us, but we want you to come now to our aid because our situation is peculiar. That is all the communities, and because with the roads, the millions inhabiting all these areas, their businesses will be safe. There will be safety of lives and properties. The collateral damage will reduce to minimum. And people will be able to live tangible lives. And again, the government will be able to get a good revenue because this is the hub of industries in Ogun State. You know what happened to Maikaino last year with water disrupting their business? All the businesses along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway in this axis, the Maikainos, the Franem, various companies here, staff could not go to work. Equipment were damaged with flood. How many is it every year they continue to spend billions on collateral damage in their businesses? They soon get tired. An investor will soon get tired and get out of this place. So please, we appeal to you, Your Excellency, Governor Dapo Abiodun, please come to our aid. Come and heed the promise you gave us 2023. You made 2023 to raise the road levels for critical access in terms of emergency for the communities in the Isheri area, all through OORBDA, Banku, down along this axis. Then also the drainage you promised us. The second phase that your commissioner, Mr. Ola gave us good assurance that he's coming May. This is September. You've done it before. We are calling you to come and repeat it again, such that at the end of this your administration, you would have placed your footprint on the sand of time, that the people here will forever remember that you are the governor who came to their aid, to be the first person to channel the whole of this community to discharge at the Lagos Lagoon. Because over the years, there was nothing like that, and there had never been any governor that deemed it fit to create that channel to Ikorodu. So we are asking you to come and do the second leg. When you come and execute the second leg, it will give us great reprieve. And also, we call on the governor in his benevolence, as usual, don't forget other communities in this axis. We see what you are doing currently at Magboro. It is very, very commendable. But please come further at this time, because there's still time for you to act. And the time to act is now. Please, no delay. While our President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the action president, we call on you to please appeal to Dr. Adedeji Ashiru of Ogun River Basin Development Authority to please send his contractor back to site. We don't know what report they might have been giving him. The contractor he sent to site did not perform. That is, we know Engineer Ashiru to be a sound and competent engineer. But where your contractor is not delivering, we will come back to you. And that is why we are calling you to send that contractor back to site. There is no stretch along the 10-kilometer Ogun River that he did any tangible work. I stand before you to tell you this morning that no work done, no tangible work done called dredging. The dredging contract was poorly, if it were, you wouldn't even call that poor execution, because there's no tangible execution along the 10-kilometer stretch. You won't even see any form of dredging on site. So ask him, where did he work? The site is there. All our people go there, they get there, they shake their heads. And when we tell them that Engineer Dr. Ashiru is the one at the helms of affairs, they said, is he not the same offshore engineering expert? What is happening? We tell them, calm down. We tell them, calm down. 2 weeks ago, when there was flood in all this area, the people were restless, saying they want to protest, carry placards down to Ogun River Basin. It was the community leaders that were telling them, calm down, calm down. Let us hear their side of the story. Maybe there might be bureaucracy, delaying maybe release of funds or whatever. We don't know. But please, whatever the bureaucracy, people's lives are at stake. We can't continue to do this to the people. And you are a proud son of Ogun State. What will we tell our people that a son of Ogun State at the helms of affairs could not come to our aid, and we are still suffering even more than what the suffering they were going through before has now even severely increased? What will we tell our people? So, Engineer Dr. Ashiru, please come out. Send your contractor back to site. Your project engineer, we call him, he doesn't pick. There was a time he invited us for meeting in his office. We told him we can't go to Abeokuta for meeting. Come down to Isheri so that when we are holding the meeting at Isheri, the community leaders will be there. Everybody would hear you out. Please come down to our communities. Come and explain to us what is holding. Because we know that if it is competence, you have it. You told us you have over 30-something engineers in your ministry. So competence is not the problem. And also we appeal to Ogun River Basin to manage the discharge. Normally by July, you have the water high. But when you get into August, there's a brief break. At that period, they're supposed to draw down the water levels in Onya Dam, such that they will be able to prepare for the late peak rains, which comes up in September, October each year, from mid-September into the third week of October. But most times, they keep repeating the same thing. They don't draw down. As at last Monday, we got a hint that the level in the Oya Dam was 59 meters. And at 62 meters, the integrity of that dam will be threatened. You don't have a choice but to release. A dam at 59 meters, you were releasing water at 2%, 3 million cubic liters, 3 million cubic meters of water in a day. That is extremely small, because at this time, you should be drawing down to create more capacity in your reservoir, such that when the late rains come, there will be space, there will be good space, storage space in your reservoir to manage flood, and you discharge gently downstream. But with the kind of similar operations you guys are doing, you are not helping. We will continue to repeat the same thing over and over every year. And the first level of insanity is when you repeat the same thing every time and you expect a different result. So please, put your expertise to work. We want you, as a true son of the soil of Ogun State, come and solve this problem for good. It is not beyond your organization if you actually have the will, because we know you have the expertise. Come and deliver. We don't want to have this repetition every year, and we are tired. So that is why we are calling. We did not say more than that. We want to see tangible work. The people are tired of stories. The leaders of the communities cannot go to the people. Now, when we call for meetings, we call meetings online, because if we go to physical meetings, people might be so pushed to the wall that they might begin to stone their leaders. So we now call for meetings online. It's the only way to save your head in the community. It shouldn't be like that. Please, we call on you. Send your contractor to site to do tangible work. And if there's any bureaucracy, cry out. cry out to the Minister of Environment, to the Minister of Water Resources. And also the Federal Ministry of Environment, they carried out the couple of months back, they contracted some contractors to carry out a study on the River Ogun. Fine, the study is good, but I remember then we asked them, how long will this study last? Because the study will aid, the report from the study will aid the design of any form of intervention structure, infrastructure along the river, all right? But when you carry out a study and your study flows into 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, till the end of the administration, is it only study we called you for? With all the studies that have been done over the years, it is as good as doing nothing. So they gave us a timeline of 6 months. 6 months too much, because they need the wet and dry season. So we're calling on the Federal Ministry of Environment, put some traction on your contractors to come up with the result from their study of the Ogun River, such that you will be able to carry out the flood intervention infrastructure, flood mitigation infrastructure along the vulnerable sections of the river. In that way, water will not be able to flow in the land. So you are not left out. We're also using the opportunity to call you out. We need help. The Isheri people need help. This is not cosmetic. It is not a matter of personality clash. No, we are calling you because you owe the people that contract. It's a social contract you owe the people. So it is not as if we have to cry out and appeal. We shouldn't be doing this in the first place, but it's a social contract you owe the people to keep their lives safe. And the president is out and has assured the people that he's going to do this. So why the stumbling block? If you have problems, escalate to your leader. He has a hearing ears. You won't cry to President Tinubu and tell him that you have this challenge and he will not intervene, because he assured us. So that is why we are calling out to him, such that whatever the bureaucracy, let it be cleared. Let us not have a situation where these people will be impoverished beyond, by the time 2027 comes, maybe you won't see anybody. They would have been covered up by flood. Please, we appeal to government. Come to our aid. The people right from Arepo, the Magboro, communities along the Banku, Arigbede, Mokore, Warewa, down to Isheri, Riverview, the various estates. When you get there, you will see the development in that area. All these people, they want help. They need help at this time. Even down to Ikorodu, we shouldn't be every rainy season we keep hearing of flood wiping out the Ikorodu area. Please, we need help. Intervene. The time to intervene is now. Thank you very much.
Mo jẹ́ kan lára àwọn landlord Federal Office of Statistics Royal Estate. But bàbá mi ní parọ́ fún yín, mo regret pé mo wá bí. Àti dáwó ẹ wo bridge lẹ́wọ̀n yìí. Owó tá ti ná sórí bridge over 20 million. Kò dẹ̀ tí débí kankan because a ṣe bridge tán sí kò sówó tá fẹ́ fi feeling kan wò lọ́kàn abẹ́ ìjọba Ogun State àbí Federal kan jọ.
Since 2017, so I've been witnessing it for like 8 years. It has become norm. There was a time for 2 months my children could not go to school.